Hello everybody, how are you doing today? Hopefully everything is fine. Well, this is in fact the second session regarding classical and flamenco guitars, luthier more or less, and the brands. I began with the first one. See, always the opera. Classicals indeed these days. I began in the first session presenting in fact well-known brands like Alhambra, for example, Cordoba, Yamaha, with Admira too. Admira was my first two guitars in classical music and flamenco. Okay, I got Admira. They are really for beginners. They are good. They sound well, you know, Spanish, and maybe they are not very surrounded, you see, balanced, but because they are very loud in fact. So for example, they mask more or less the high, you see, high notes and so on. So I present also a prestigious AIIHC brand for flamenco guitars, mainly Hermanos Conde. Today it's Felipe Conde, Francisco Navarro, Jose Ramirez also, which is the previous and current AIIHC very prestigious brand for classical guitars. It's very expensive also, above 2,500 euros, it's a minimum, you see, a budget. So, like in fact Felipe Conde, Felipe and Hermanos Conde. Okay, so today I complete in fact this list with some other names. There's also some non-Spanish, those are Spanish brands, so you have German ones, for example, La Mancha, and others, or collaborations between German and Spanish manufacturing in China, like Cordoba, for example, Ortega. I will complete today the list with Paco Castillo, Manuel Alarid, also Spanish manufacturers and luthiers of guitars. Hermanos Camps, it's a very prestigious AIIHC brand for concerts guitars. Okay, Paolo Bernabe, same thing. And here the problem, you are lost in fact, because you are all prestigious Spanish, you see, luthiers and manufacturers. So which one to buy? And they are expensive, like I've told you, minimum 2,500, you see, if you are lucky. Okay, usually you need a budget of 10,000 euros to buy a guitar from those brands. Okay, 5 to 10,000. I've talked previously about Alhambra. Alhambra today is a very large brand, well known internationally for every single level of guitarist. You see, beginners, intermediate, advanced intermediate, semi-professional and professional. But whenever it comes really to the quality of sound here, the prices are the same. So whenever you would like to have all solid wood guitars with a specific type of wood, you know, here you reach the same prices except for Cordoba and Yamaha. Cordoba, you know, both of them, they are less expensive than those French brands. Okay, we have Santos Martinez also, they manufacture good guitars. Esteve, it's historically, you know, more or less the brand of founders of Hernandez. Where have I put Hernandez? Jose Hernandez. Okay, so you have Jose Hernandez and Jose Ramirez, both of them. There are Spanish, in fact, luthiers. Okay. like I said, the stem effect, is older than Jose and all that. Sometimes effect. The founders of new brands were employees or even apprentices, you see, with previous effect, Lucier's, mainly in Spain. Okay. And last but not least, you have very commercial and affordable, you see, prices, more or less good guitars for beginners and intermediate. I don't wish to pay, very expensive guitar and so on. You just need a guitar which is, good balanced, around 500 euros, between 500 and 1,000 euros. So Takamine is a very good brand. Cremona too, and Ortega. And La Mancha is new, but it sounds good, So here Manuel Rodriguez is trying to join them in a large market. So they began manufacturing in Romania, Bulgaria, in Europe, in the European Union, and China. All of them really to have a larger market, you see, by lowering the prices and having good guitars. Personally, Love at First Sight, was more or less with a Manus Conde for flamenco guitar. And out of this minute, it's more or less Jose Hernandez. Okay, they have really good brands, good models of guitars, you see, traditional, because I've begun with Admira, I always shift toward this traditional sound of flamenco and classical guitar music. Okay, I'm not in the new, I would say, generation of guitars. Even some of them, you see, big brands, the Carbone Effect guitars, and so they sound a little bit different from really all solid wood. Mainly Spanish guitars. So if you, for example, here I haven't added other, you see, German brand Anika we have. So yeah, you have Anika. It's a prestigious German, you see, brand. Because I'm not promoting a lot of German brands. Like I've told you, I prefer, even though they have a very clean and pure, sound, the guitars, and they are really good, they are not cheap neither. As expensive as Admira, as Alhambra, more or less Alhambra, and even they can join a little bit Jose Hernandez and other Spanish brands. Francisco Navarro mainly. Okay. But whenever you are used, you see on some traditional Spanish guitar sound, maybe if you begin with those German guitars, you get used because you practice 5 to 6 hours per day. Whenever you are playing since 30 years, it's really difficult to shift toward, different sounds. Okay, you listen to them, you find them good, cool, clear, clean, soft, tender. Like this one, it's 50 bucks, Chinese guitar, just for practicing. I'm not able to play on it, everything, mainly flamenco. So it's very solid, tough, rigid. Okay. So to end, this list, I wish to, expose a little bit some guitars and why, in fact, Yamaha for me, maybe the high-end, top tier effect guitars they have are really good, like Cordoba, and here the prices would join a little bit, maybe less expensive than Ramirez, for example, or Camps, or Paolo Bernabe, but anyway, the remaining effect and in the ranges you see of expensive guitars, okay, you cannot buy a good guitar for a concert, you know, below 1,500. So you can find 1,200, if you are lucky 1,000 euros, or you convert, you know, to other currencies, but you cannot find something less than that, okay. Even though Manuel Rodriguez, they've shown some guitars who are around 800, between 750 and 900, you know, this range. But I mean, like I've told you, they are manufacturing in China and Romania, others in Bulgaria, like Ortega, for example, I think, or Cremona, yeah. Okay, Ortega in China, Cremona, I think it's in Bulgaria. Okay, but it sounds good. I won't criticize the sound of those guitars. You see, I'm not here, like I've told you, I'm not paid by any brand really to present what I'm doing. It's personal, you see, research and presentation. So, because I would like to have a guitar, for example, I don't have a big budget, the 10,000, I can have, you see, I've told you 1,500, 2,000, okay, and I don't wish really to spend them like that and to change my guitar, you see, after 1 or 2 years. So I made my research effect because there's a lot of brands. Okay, so there's the last one I showed to you, in fact. Last one is Spanish also, and then we shift to YouTube. I'm trying to share YouTube, in fact. So here you can listen, in fact, to the guitars on YouTube. They present them with a professional guitarist playing. So they play like me, you know, or maybe. So you can recognize here that I have just, in fact, a guitar to practice, $50 guitar, you know, but anyway. Yeah, yesterday I finished making some research. Those are our main brands, you know. I don't know if there's others for sure, because this one is not, it's third one, it's for, yeah, Tolman, I think. There's also some Russian guitars, for beginners mainly. Okay, between $50 and 100 maximum, 20 or $50, okay, dollars or euros, sterling, pound. Okay, so this is a big issue today, and like I've told you previously, you'll be lost, okay? You'll be lost if you won't be able to find the ideal guitar. And yeah, I made this such as today, and so Tolman, you know, is a good distributor of guitars, seller. Some guitars, they don't, I mean, promote them and sell them, so you need to make research, you know, mainly on search engines, okay, to avoid really missing the guitar of your dream, to begin really with a good guitar. Okay, Cordoba, they are promoting a lot because it's American, you know, and the Americans, they are a lot in business and marketing and so on. Whenever really you listen to the sound even of, they tell you Cordoba F7, I think they have C7 too, okay, and they put signature of Paco de Lucia and so on. They are different from, like I told you, from traditional Spanish sound. They are good, the expensive ones, so and you go above 1000 here bucks, and you join Yamaha and other brands you see, even La Mancha, which also is a very good modern sound of guitars, and La Nica and so on. Okay, you have third brands, third category of brands, like for example Harley Benton. I haven't added them. Thoman, like I've told you, Start One, like this one I have. Okay, here I have Ovation too. So, I mean, here you need to hear the sound of the guitar to say whoa, and you see the price is really not expensive, you say fine, I'll buy it. Okay, those are entry, cheap, guitars, for people like me who don't wish to buy a guitar, permanent guitar, but to practice on it, for 1-2 years and then to throw it. For example, okay, you buy one of those guitars. They are good, they serve for something you can record, you're practicing, you can make mistakes on the guitar, for example, which is not really allowed with other guitars. La Mancha also, like I've told you, they're John Yamaha in fact. Okay. You have Godin, so you have electroacoustic guitars, classical guitars, and cutaway. Okay, the cutaway guitars, Takamine, I've told you. Okay, those are brands you can find on such. Martin also, they have Martin EC guitar. It's the also prestigious brand of acoustic guitars. It's in the USA. They have also some classical guitars, nylon guitars, and so on. Okay, there are like Ramirez effect for classical guitars and Felipe Hermanos Conde for flamenco guitars. Yeah, so here if I put Anika for example, Anika, it's prestigious German classical guitar brand. It's great, sound is really for classicals, because you see Germans also they have, you see Bach and Beethoven and so on. So it's adapted to those repertoires. But whenever you play Spanish, flamenco and so on, even though they have flamenco guitars, you feel yourself a little bit far from traditional, you see, Spanish sound you are used on. Okay. And there's another one, the last one, Amelia, I think. Yeah, Nika 2700 Natural Taurus, it's one of the best. Okay, and here it's classical one. Even though it's Spruce, all solid guitar, but yeah, it's not cedar. Top cedar and so on. So they promote also Ortega. Harley Benton, if you don't wish to buy a very cheap guitar like this one, Start One, okay, you buy La Mancha, for example, or Ortega, or even Manuel Rodriguez. They have guitars around 200 bucks. You can have a good sound. Okay, so yeah, I'm just looking to guitars they promote. For sure, Ramirez, the minimum budget you should have is around 3,000 for Ramirez, first hand. Otherwise, you'll be obliged to buy a little bit less, 2,800. and 3,000. Otherwise, you can buy second hand, and you'll be lucky to know why they are selling the guitars, to change it, you know, with a new one, or because it's a broken. You have fur guitars also, so you have a lot. Lakewood. So we won't end, like I've told you the last time, there's a lot of brands today, you know, Lakewood, Fur. Lakewood. Those are secondary, you know, and electroacoustic ones. You see Martin, for example, acoustic guitars brands or electric guitars brand, you know, they manufacture also sometimes some classical guitars and Nino guitars, so electroacoustic classical guitars, and they sell them because they have a market, you know, and they have their name in the market, so like that, in fact, instead of seeking a guitar from Admiral, Manuel Rodriguez, you know, you go directly there to the shop, you know, and you buy, in fact, your guitar. Lakewood and Fur. You have Tolman, Stout one. Tolman, Stout one. Okay, Harley Benton. Harley Benton sounds good, really. I was hesitating between the Harley Benton and this one, that one. But by then I've chosen, you know, primary price, you know, lowest price, because I've pierced it, you know, and I opened it, I've added the microphone here. So a jack, you know, jack cable, jack input. Right now I'm playing directly, you see, on the microphone. I can connect it really to an audio input also with a jack cable, and record directly without really external parasites, or add a pedal, you know, have pedals down there really to modify sound if I need to modify it, you see, and so on. So last one, you know. There's a Kramer guitars also. There's a lot of brands, really. There's a lot, I mean, I was surprised how many manufacturers are working today to really release their guitars, and how in fact they compete each other in the market. This is a big issue today, really. It's not my issue really to present that and to read Kramer guitars or electric guitars more or less, you see. So here we are talking about classical and flamenco guitars. Martin guitars, they are usually acoustic, like I've told you, they are top two guitars with Gibson. Okay, stop it talking. Top one or top two, I don't know. So, yeah. What else we can say? So it's very important, the playability, you know, you have things to check, you see, if there's a torsion, in the arm of the guitar, you see if there's an issue of manufacturing, you check it whenever you have it. Okay, if you've paid a lot of money online without testing, you see in a shop. It's much better to go to a shop, you know. When I got my first guitar, it was in a shop. So I've tested many guitars, and I was attracted by, like I've told you, traditional Spanish sound of the guitar. I haven't noticed it was an admiral. At the time you don't have a large knowledge, you see in the brands and where they are manufactured. You read, you know. You read made in Spain, made in China, inside made in Romania, in Europe they don't say in Romania or Bulgaria. You know. Made in Spain, made in the USA. Cordoba, they are made in China, and some of them in the USA, I think, and they have a shop, I think, in Spain, if I'm not wrong. Okay. Usually they promote them with AIIHC guitars. So here we can ask to see what brief. So you can make a search about prestigious, you see a German. So let's see. Yeah, there's a lot. So they have independent here also Stanzel, Noah, Dotlinger, Martin, Trot. You can manufacture a guitar upon your request, you know, with them. You can go there and conceive a design with them. Also choose a type of wood you would like to have, you know, on your guitar. And they fix you a price, you know. Usually they're expensive. Usually, so here if you take the manufacturers who are more or less brands, you know. For sure you have any culture. Hop, yeah. Okay, so it's important, like I've told you now, whenever you listen to sound here, you'll have this love at first sight. I say, wow, this is a guitar, and if playability, you know, you notice it's fine, you know, you can play easily, and you can modify it to lower the action if you need to lower, affect the chords, okay, from your frets, to be able to play fast, if you are virtuous and so on. So, like I've I've told you you can practice Hanika. Oh yeah, see, Hanika is a prestigious German manufacturer of classical guitars. Okay, you have Hofner and Ortega, I've told you. Hofner, yeah. I've forgotten Hofner, Ortega here. See, La Mancha also, you know, is a new one. Hanika and Hofner. Those are German ones. Yeah, if you like, in fact, the repertoire that I've told you of Beethoven, of Bach, German composers, you know. Don't hesitate, go for a Hofner or a Anika. Ortega also, they are good. But Ortega is, I mean, I don't know Hofner, but Anika, you know, is the best. Yeah, Ortega, it's not bad to manufacture in China, you know, but sometimes you have you see manufacturing inside, in fact, the company. So there's a difference. So the manufacturer, for example, in Germany, or they are externalizing toward Romania and Bulgaria. You see there. Anyway, it remains inside Europe. Okay, you can check, in fact, the quality of manufacturing. Well, in China, except if you travel there, you see to check on site what they are doing and the quality, and to test with them. So it's difficult to work. I've worked with them, you know, in China. They are great, they are kind and loyal, you know, they don't make bad turns. Contrary, they are generous and very loyal, you see, whenever you are dealing with them. You don't know what's happening there. You see, maybe another brand will open with, in fact, your design and so on. So it's something to be controlled. You know, it's difficult to control China. No, in guitar, I think it's difficult really to copy a little bit. You see, the guitars, in fact, they are asking them to manufacture Ortega or Cordoba or Manuel Rodriguez, La Mancha, I don't know, maybe also La Mancha, La Manca, and for sure Start One, Zollman, Takamiya's, I think also. They are manufacturing also in Indonesia, Japan for Yamaha, okay, Malaysia. There's big manufacturers there, you know, for guitars, production massively for students, intermediate mainly. Okay. So here we take Spanish. Yeah. You have Alhambra, Ramirez, Admiral Camps, comme ça, Prudential Sales, Amalio, yeah, this is Amalio, Brigade, Manuel Rodriguez, and Sands de la Rosa. They are handcrafted. So you can add Prudential, Sales, and Amalio Brigade. That's what I was adding, Amalio Brigade. Okay. Prudential Sales. Oh, for example, they haven't talked about Ramirez, they haven't talked about Hernandez, Saz de la Rosa. So you won't buy in fact 100 guitars. I don't know how many brands we have here, less for sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 16 just Spanish. And then you have others, Germans, EC, 1, 2, 3, with Anika, 4. Okay, so 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. So you have around 30 brands today in the market, manufacturing guitar. You won't buy 30 guitars, especially if the price of the guitar is above, you see, 1,000. Stop vocalizing opera. It's choosing really your, soulmate. A guitar will become more or less your girlfriend, boyfriend, soulmate. Really, you touch it every day, you listen to, for me, her sound, her voice, every day. It becomes something, a soulmate, a part of you. You cannot really adventure, you see. So either you go to a shop, they have those brands or a part of them. I don't think there's one shop where you can find all those guitars brands. I don't think so. I think it's impossible to find, you see, one shop today worldwide where you can find all those brands. You can find maximum, 10 maximum. Okay, 10 brands in a shop. They focus on main ones, like I've told you, Alhambra, usually. Admiral Manuel Rodriguez are trying to find also a place beside them. Yamaha, for sure, everybody have heard about Yamaha. Today, Cordoba also. Okay, so La Manca, pronounce it. La Mancha, and so on. It's joining a little bit Manuel Rodriguez, you see, because it sounds very well. It sounds really very well. And now we listen to some of those guitars. Instead of listening to the opera, I had to find something, without wasting our precious time on surfing on internet. Let's say take Cordoba C12, which is a high-end, top-tier concert Cordoba guitars. Is, like I've told you, one of the best. Price is around 2,000. Okay, so I stop the opera. I'll sing later. I'll listen later. Just to show you the difference between 2,000 euros guitar and 50 bucks, 50 euros guitar. And cedar, you can identify directly the sound of cedar wood, which is warm usually. Okay, not like a spruce, it's the spruce wood is bright. It's loud, it's louder, and usually it's more expensive because it doesn't crack, like cedar with time. It gets better, with time, and it's more resistant. But you see, you have signature of cedar wood, in the sound. You cannot find it with any other wood. They are trying with a carbon, like I've told you, carbon wood, or I don't know, this is a chemical, new guitars, you see. It sounds different from all kind of wood, you know. You cannot find a signature of spruce or cedar or so on. They are closer to cedar because they are base more or less, you see, warm and so on. So let's take one Hernandez, for example. And here you see why you have this love at first sight. You know, toward the guitar, you fall in love. It's not fetishism here, you know, it's not perversion, it's really something deep and something that we live. I've lived since today 30 years precisely. Yeah, 30 years. That's why I've chosen to play guitar, because I used to play on a keyboard, you know, piano, and everybody, my friends, my cousins were playing piano and so on. Violin, the high notes kill me, you know. I cannot hear high notes of a violin this way. And my uncle too, he told me I don't like it, you know. I used to talk to him. Amalia Burgett. So we said we'd see Hernandez before, you know, and you see the difference between Hernandez and Cordoba, for example. Juan Hernandez. So something I've sent to, I think, 50 times, not 100 times. I haven't reached 100 times, you know, to repeat the same sound. But anyway, you need to listen a lot, you know, to develop an idea, you know, about the product and the sound you would like to have when you are playing, for example, Bach. See, whenever it's really sensual playing, you don't have to choose, you know, the wrong sound for that. So this is the Hernandez. You see the Spanish traditional sound? I'm already in love with this guitar. Price is 1,200, around 300, you see. If you add other expenses, you know. So this is more or less a studio recording and concerts. So for a studio you don't need really, see, with $50 guitar you can record, you know, and modify sound. You don't need very expensive guitars. You can go for a Yamaha or Cordoba or even Alhambra. You see, for 500, you see maximum 700 euros, you see, or dollars for a studio. But whenever you would like to make a concert, you see on live and so on, have a loud sound. So I usually go for a spruce guitar because it's louder, you know, and bright. It can be heard, you know, clearly by the audience. Otherwise, in fact, an expensive cedar guitar, a Ramirez A1, which will cost, you know, 10,000, usually 10,000 euros. So we need a sponsor here, you know. I don't need my girlfriend to offer me a gift, you know, with her savings. It goes above that, you know, and beyond that it goes toward a sponsorship, you know, for EU concerts and so on. That's why I was very large in my description today. I don't wish really to promote any of those brands, even though, like I've told you, you'll have this feeling, you know, toward the sound of a guitar, and you say, this is the guitar I would like to have, and for maybe forever, for a long period, you know. In fact, Admira, I still have it. Since 30 years I still have it. It's not here, I'm in Europe right now, it's in Middle East, you know, I'm Middle Eastern. Okay, so it's still waiting for me, my love. Yeah, so they find me weird, people surrounding me, I fall in love with guitars indeed. So you have Alhambra 8P also, it's attractive, but whenever you go beyond, you reach professional one, you know, we listen to both of them. So this is a signature of Juan Hernandez. So here we listen to the Alhambra. Every single, you know, luthier or manufacturer, you know, will have his own signature, you know, or sound print, if you wish to call it, like fingerprint or so on, sound print. Okay, yeah. So we go for Alhambra 8P. We don't have sound here. That's a problem. So whenever we don't have sound on a cellar, let's say platform 8P, because you have a flamenco also 8FC, Alhambra 8P. So you hear with the difference. What is it? You can have fellowships indeed. I was checking a little bit also what we have today as fellowships, for students, for semi-professional, outside, you know, conservatory, for professionals, recording albums. So this is the signature of Alhambra. They improve it, you know, from a model to another one. The improved model will become more expensive, but so you keep in fact the signature. So here it's more or less professional, you know, conservatory concert guitar. All solid wood. So if you don't wish to buy the gold standard AIIHC concert guitar of Alhambra, you see, which is Alhambra 10 Premier usually. If you don't really wish to pay $3,000 for a professional one, you go for those guitars, you know, 8P and 10. Yeah, Premier. So here it will sound louder, warmer, you know, and more balanced. Playability will be for sure better, you know, more expensive guitar. Also they're not promoting a lot. So we go for a 10 Premier. Now I won't check in now flamenco guitar. So you don't wish to go to a shop, or like I've told you, there's no shops who will buy, you know. Usually they don't buy it, in fact they expose them. Whenever they sell, in fact, they pay the manufacturer, usually, if I'm not wrong. This was my case in other fields of business. You don't buy except if you are promoting a product or a company or so. You can make a deal, in fact, to pay based on sales. Okay, it depends on your contract with the manufacturer and so on. So this is 10 Premier. This is concert, you know, solid wood, top cedar, you know, rosewood also, body, and so on. Rosewood is good to project, you know, for projection, for concerts, you need a rosewood in fact guitar. price is around 1,800 euro. So if you wish to pay less and to have the same sound print, like I've told you, the same spirit of Alhambra, you know, you buy 8p for 1,300. You save 400 euros, you know, 500. Yeah, 500. So 500, you know, whenever you are funding, in fact, your concerts and your home studio, okay, to record and so on. So it's a big amount of money, you know, 500. So instead of going up to those gold standard AIIHC guitars in classical music and flamenco, also you have names like I've told you. You go toward Felipe Conde, or also you have good Jose Hernandez, also flamenco guitars and so on. But the gold standard you see is Felipe Conde. You can buy also Navarro. Navarro, they are not really also cheap, they are somehow expensive. Less than Ramirez or same thing. Okay, so those are two guitars of Alhambra. We listened to Hernandez. We turn back to Hernandez. Okay, guitars, and here we check. We've seen, in fact, beginning of professional guitars. You see previously we listened to that. Okay, now we listen to really an expensive one, which is Hernandez concert. They have concert and maestro. I think maestro, yeah. Those are top tier, you know, very high quality, 4,000 euros. And here John a little bit Ramirez. Okay, Ramirez guitars, which begin with the price of 3,000. It's really international, prestigious. You know, here you need to find a demo. Okay, so you see in fact the difference between the Hernandez guitars and Alhambra guitars. It's up to you to choose, you know, which one you would like to buy. Okay, we'll take Tarrega. Tarrega is Spanish composer. No, there's some ads. And this is a soft, warm, in fact, Spanish sound. So if you have 4,000 bucks, you buy one of those. If you don't have, you save, in fact, 2,500 and you buy this guitar. Yeah. And on there's Romance also, they are very good. So we are talking about 2,500 euros of difference between the guitar you are listening to and this one. Okay. So I don't know if you could notice the difference. This baroque. So difference, in fact, there's some places and the note where you have some kind of, how to describe to you, a void, an emptiness, you know, which is filled whenever, in fact, you go toward, in fact, expensive guitars. So it's a reason of projection of the guitar and dynamic, you see. Between both you can buy a concert one, you know, for around 2,000 euros. Okay, like that you won't pay neither 4,000, neither 1,500, you pay 2,000, you see, and find between both. Okay, so here we were listening to a cedar, you know, those are cedar, more or less guitars, and spruce, it's brighter. So actually, yeah. If you go lower in the prices, here you see this void I'm talking about, and it's a reason of the quality of wood, you know, so will become louder. This is see the difference between. So I know how to fix this issue, you know, while playing. So okay, the quality of food. Well, here, whenever you are recording AIIHC in a small home studio or in a professional studio, you know, you can change, in fact, preamps. Okay, the bass, the mid, the high, you see, and the low of the sound, the treble, you can add some treble and so on, you can add some special effects. Okay, I have some pedals here, in fact, like that, you modify literally, you see the sound of the guitar. That's why you don't need really very expensive guitars. For me, between a 200, 500 or 50 bucks, you know, guitar, it's the same. However, I just need really the raw, let me say, raw notes, in fact, and sound. Okay, the basic sound to modify and so on. I don't know if you can notice that's 50 bucks guitars, or you think it's I don't know, 200 or because I have the technique, you see, I can master really my notes. For sure, the quality of chords is very important. So just a new here. Usually every 3 months you should change them if you play daily for 3 or 4 or 5 hours. Otherwise 6 months. You are obliged to have always a set, you know, a spare set of chords beside. told you it's different. It's difficult to play flamenco on this one. It's for more or less classics. And also there's a complexity of playing, so if you play slow music, you know, pieces, usually cedar is good, it will give you some softness and warm sound. If you're playing fast, you need to change also position of chords to lower the action. You need to change the chords also to have soft chords, not very rigid, you know, ones. Like those ones I have here. Also, it's much better to use the spruce effect. Spruce, top spruce, you know, guitars. Okay, the sound will be bright, but anyway, it will be responsive, more responsive. So, as you can notice, with $50 guitar you can do something whenever you play, you know. And you can also, progress in playing a new style of music. I won't go toward jazz and blues, but anyway, I've played rock, I've played pop, country, classics all the time, you know. Today I haven't practiced, maybe tomorrow. Okay, today I was busy in something else. With the company, AIIHC International Ltd, you know. Hopefully we'll activate it, like I've told you, whenever we'll have a sponsor, hopefully around 2027, 2028 we'll have a sponsor, you know. Oh, I continue sponsoring, you know, I've sponsored the company up to, I think today, 7,000 euros I could buy. You tell me you could buy a Ramirez guitar, 2 Ramirez guitar even. It was more or less a project I planned. So I have a guitar, I have 2 guitars, I don't need really prestigious guitars today really to play. It's like if you're having a Lamborghini, you know, why you don't need it. You keep it in the parking, you know, in the box, in the garage. And you use in fact your Fiat Punto to go to work. Okay. So I won't play aggressive, you know, attack the guitar, flamenco and so on. I don't know what time is it. Okay, it's around 9, 10, around 10 p.m. I've taken a nap. I know which time I woke up. I know which time I sleep. Which day are we? Wednesday or yeah, well, Wednesday, 29th of October 2025. It's a life of musicians, you know. My also teacher was like that. He used to wake up by noon, I think, because he used to play by night. That's by the afternoon, you know. So I'm using on this life also. I have a double life, you know. The teacher, lecturer and so on, and academic, like we say, industrial academic, and also musician. I have a lot of friends who are musicians today. Well, to be honest, I spend cool time with them, you know, more than with other colleagues who field, you see, of healthcare, sciences, and so on. Engineering, medicine, and so on. At least we do something, you know, we play music. So let's see the Hanika. After Hanika, in fact, they are great, but it's not my guitar, it's not the guitar it's for repertoire of more German composers you see in classical music. They are called a little bit, you know, like Germans. They are tough and cold. So you can see it's clear and it's clean, you know, the note is very clean. They are good, but it's not my guitar, you know. If it's not the guitar, I'll save 1,200 euros to buy it. But if you are in fact a student or even just more or less concert guitars, you see. Yeah, the first one, they are all solid wood, you know. A spruce, this one. There are bass guitars for concerts, you know. So if you haven't ended your studies and you are still studying, I would like to make a concert, you know, you buy such guitars and you have the budget. Okay, to avoid the Yamaha C40 basic guitars you see of beginners, entry level. Okay, you have entry level, intermediate level, and high end. Okay, so this is why I mean, Hanika, in fact, even though it's most prestigious today, was like I've told you previously, Hoffman. Hofner guitars, let's see Hofner guitar. Okay, Hanika and Hofner, they are really prestigious ones. German ones, Ortega, it's second level, I think. I don't know if you have. Okay. Have violence and violence. Violins and violence. Okay. Yeah. This is a Hofner Senorita, per favor. They give them even Spanish names to mislead the crowd. Yeah. Also, it's all wood, so all wood usually you can use it for concerts. All solid wood. Solid wood. So let's see Hofner 65 HM 65. Senorita, it's here on YouTube. You can find some demos. Hofner HM 65. Let's see. I have a pub. Okay, so this is more or less effect the Hofner. So I could see they are not really, for me, they are not really attractive. Even though I've told you you can play a repertoire of classical music with symphony, you know, and play well the notes. Okay, you play well your music. Well, personally, I'll shift toward always you see Spanish signature of sound traditional one. Okay, so it depends on you. If you begin with the Hofner and Anika, you see guitars and Ortega. Here, I mean, in La Manca, you see Mancho, Manca. Okay, Mancho. So here, in fact, you continue and you'll find it really, I mean, idle for you, you know, the idle sound you'd like to have. For me, it's not really the case. What's the difference between a $50 guitar and 1,000 you see box guitar, you see 1,000 euros guitar, so there's no, but for me, you know, yeah, maybe for you or for them, okay. So, now we shift to a Ramirez, just to show you also difference. Ramirez is what you listen usually in big concerts of classical guitar, maybe also recordings of music, recordings of songs. Okay, whenever you have Spanish guitar music in a song, so usually they use a Ramirez and so on. Okay, this is spruce. For some guitars, spruce is soft, you know, for love stories, romance, and so on. You see, like I've told you previously, for virtuous games and virtuous playing, you know, and concerts also. Spruce is good, much better than cedar. Okay, cedar will sound bass more or less, you know, will sound warm and deep. Okay, it won't sound bright and alive, you know, vivace, you know what to say. Okay, okay. This is Ramirez, 2,900 around euros. And see here, there's no void on the note, so after you say or you hear less. Emptiness, you know, whenever you play the notes there's an emptiness, you know, or it's strong, you know, note. So whenever you have a strong note, you know, and strong sound played, it means you have good wood, you know. So it was spruce. Usual spruce, you know, are less good than cedar. So this is Guitarra del Campo for Ramirez, 2,800 around that. You know. So cheapest, you know, cheapest guitars in Ramirez brand. I see difference is warm. Instead of paying, for example, 2,700 for the brand, you can pay 1,000 in fact and buy Alhambra or so on. And less for Manuel Rodriguez, but Manuel Rodriguez, you know, sound is different. Whenever you go with less than 1,000 euros brands manufactured, you see in Europe, in Romania, I think. Whenever they are manufacturing in Spain, the prices are the same, you know, you go up to 2,000, 3,000 luthier, you know, guitar and so on. Playing on a different scale. Yeah, so yeah, here it's a basic Ramirez. Now I can go up to 10,000 euros, you know, for a Ramirez. And let's see if they have a demo sample, you see, to listen to. Recording. So yeah, I spent in fact less than 1 month really to dig inside the brands, because if I like to have a sponsor, you know, and I relocate to be well surrounded, not really surrounded by stalkers and in a country of haters, you know, who are trying really to block my career or whatever I'm doing. They are annoyed, well, I've become very annoyed of them having a hand on my files and my life, you know, which is not of their business. So this is my business more or less. I do it in other countries than France. Okay, hopefully in 2026 will be the departure, you know, if not 2026, 2027. Okay, before 2027, before mid-2027, yeah, I would have relocated to another country. Yeah, so yeah, whenever you are really there, you seek really to develop your network, your sponsors, and so on. Okay, so this is Jose Ramirez. I'll take a short video. This is the A1, it's a gold standard, you see, for concerts. It costs 10,000. Strumming los cuerdos. You see how solid is the note. There's no really void or emptiness surrounding the note whenever he's playing. I know, yeah, I try to seek more classical music, you know. Yeah. That's traditional Spanish music, classical music. different scale. Oh, this scale. It's A major. So you see this consistent sound whenever it's expensive. It's the reason of the wood they are using. But you can play music, with $50 guitars. It won't be the same. Playability also will be a little bit more difficult, except if you change, like I've told you, the action, the action, and you change the chords. Bring some soft chords. You see, normal tension, not really strong tension. Like this one I have here. Strong chords, strong tension chords are more or less for classical music and slow music. Whenever you play fast, you need really soft chords to play. So either you by normal tension, the difference between classicals and baroque and flamenco. Even though some classical music, pieces are fast, so presto, prestissimo. Okay, so it's this is gold standard sound of guitar, classical guitar for concert. Ramirez A1. Okay, 1A. Okay, yeah. So 10,000. You see. So now you can go to a lower. You see models, lower prices models. So with that you got lower quality of wood and manufacturing, they're using, but you remain in the range of 3,000, 10,000 euros with Ramirez. Okay. Now Amal also Burget, which is a Spanish brand. They have also always here you see Spanish brand. With the German ones you see Annika, Hafner, and also Ortega. They have expensive guitars, you see, for concerts mainly. That's why you buy an expensive guitar, not for pleasure, for concerts, mainly for recordings also. Okay, studio, if you record in fact a concert also to have a good sound. Well, like I've told you, whenever you have an experience of long years, you see 30 years in my case, you can, you see, a $50 guitar, you can produce something. Even though my fingers are suffering, but wow, I'm really satisfied. Other than Alhambra, we've seen Alhambra, Hernandez, Ramirez, Anika, Hafner. So you'll have Navarre, Admiral of and Esteve. Esteve is a good also brand. Admira is for students, so okay, like today, Manuel Rodriguez, okay, Manuel Rodriguez, Yamaha, also Cordoba. They have really mid, let's say, level guitars. Okay, Esteve guitars. Let's see, Esteve guitars. It's a Spanish well-known also brand. With Manuel Adavid and Paco Castillo. I have a large market, you see, of guitars today. So I have a Esteve 12, Esteve 8F flamenco. This is a flamenco. Let's see the flamenco. Flamenco is flamenco guitar, you know, we call it flamenco. So the price is around 1,500. Like I've told you, to have such a sound of guitars, you know, you need to save 1,500 to 2,000. You see, euros or US dollars, a little bit more. You see, sterling pounds, a little bit less. To have really this good sound of guitars for concerts. Okay, with that I end second session on the guitars. You see presentation. Yeah, we are in the black here. So. So hopefully next time I'll be playing on a more professional guitar. I'm not here to promote, neither the brands of guitar, neither in fact the models they have. I'm here just in fact to sensibilize you and to prepare really for your first guitar, second guitar, third guitar. Today I have bought 7 guitars, but none of them was expensive, and I'm still playing guitar, since 30 years. I've never passed, 250 years a guitar, because I'm semi-professional and more. I was beginner and intermediate, and then you see advanced, upper intermediate advanced. So, well, a few years ago I decided to become, whenever I bought, my flamenco, maybe 10 years ago, but a few years ago, 2 years ago, I decided really to go towards semi-professional and today professional, field of music and guitar music merely, Spanish and so on. Whenever you have, the hand and skills in doing something here, do not hesitate, even though you couldn't prepare degrees. Degrees, they come later, Degrees usually are to teach, not really to play guitar with a band or make concerts or even to record albums and so on. You need to be skilled. Not everybody could join, a conservatory. We had our schools and our studies, and whenever we've decided that some of you and myself too, our parents have declined that, because we were dependent of our parents and so on. But anyway, we are still here, playing guitar, making music. Okay, so everything. C'est pas que de réussir, into the cycles. Just beginning. I will play, for other guitarists of 20th century, 21st century. I'll play for either. All the composers you see, like Tarrega, Albanese and classics more or less. Even Bolivia, some flamenco is Bolivia. Yeah, I need my flamenco to buy. I had an Admiral, like I've told you. Well, it's not expensive, 200, I think 250. It was good. It's easier to play on it and sound is louder. Admiral, they are loud. Okay, and it's more flamenco, sounds. This one is, I think, pretty valid. I don't know, $50, it's very... it's a mystery, I'm trying to explore it. Yeah, I've pieced it here, there's a hole here. I've spent for 2 hours. I found it on a bridge, I think, in wood here, so it has taken time to put an input for a jack cable and so on to connect the effect directly to the mixer and the computer to record. And then I've lowered the action here, lower the action from here. You see this one, you take it off. Okay, and you reduce the height, you see, of strings. And then I've begun export, sound. I'm not able to find out, to understand why it's so cheap, because really you can play something good on it instead of buying 200, 300, euros guitar. Or maybe because I play since long years, I have the hand on the strings, I can produce, in fact, the sound I wish. So. Okay. Yeah, so I can play, like I've told you previously, I won't attack the guitar loud, and also you need to work a little bit your fingers, your nails, and so on. I'm not very classical, so I don't have huge nails. You see, if you notice classical guitar players, guitarists, they all have huge nails. I have a small ones, you see here, you can see. So even though with those small ones, you see very small. You see, I have small nails. I can really produce the sound. So some others, they cut them completely, they play just with the fingers. The flesh. So I play with both, in fact. You touch. I touch with both, Whenever you are playing classical music, you need really to master 100% of the chords, and here it's much better to have big nails, okay, to avoid really missing a note, because personally also I miss some notes sometimes whenever I'm playing classical music. Repeat. Okay, so there's a lot of songs, you know, and music pieces you can play, not just studios. Those are the most famous ones, you know. You add usually a bass note. Okay, I won't enter a lot, you know, in my music. Okay, with that I end today. It was special session. Session 2 about guitars. Before beginning, I don't think I'll publish courses. Like I've told you, it's not really my career. You see, guitarist, but I mean, I have skills and I play slalom guitar. I won't play with a band today. I play solo, so that's why I record, some albums. And regarding courses, I went to see some teachers. They weren't really my teachers. They were proposing courses. They haven't degrees, in music. They were teaching flamenco. The compass of flamenco, and so on. Okay, falsetto and so on. So I've noticed that I know a little bit more than them, music theory and so on. That's why I haven't taken them as my teachers. So I can be between the conservatory students, who graduated from music school, and those in fact, I think they are more or less fans, of flamenco guitars. They go to Andalusia, Granada, and those countries of flamenco, and they learn in fact music and return back to work and teach in the field, of flamenco and so on. So I think, in fact, I can be between both. Okay, that's why today, whenever somebody asks me about my level in music, playing guitar, I tell him I'm semi-professional. Okay, or advanced. You see, I'm not really intermediate beginner. I know really. I've learned music theory, the scales. I know to compose. So I know many things. I can even have a degree from a conservatory. I could have, but you need to go there before before having a degree from a conservatory. You know, you need to go there to be able to go and meet them. I couldn't go. You know, between my practicing in sports, I still have here my rackets and athleticism and so on, and studies. You know, and then work. I haven't done really. I've tried to join a club of flamenco guitarists in Paris, I think, Paris 20, you see, department. I felt something weird happening whenever I was there. I haven't returned back into the club. I don't know what happened. I think I've asked one question, two questions, and then I've left. I didn't like the environment. It was really weird. So if you have 100 degrees, you know, and you cannot really perform and play guitar, you know, it remains, you see, a degree. Okay, between your clothes or between your papers and so on, you know, in your library. Okay, many, in fact, conservatory students, they don't continue music, they work in different fields. I know from my friends, child friends, and some relatives and so on. For prestige, maybe, of the parents. It's not my case, I'm more involved, you see. Like I've told you, I feel my guitar, my girlfriend, since 30s. When I bought my first guitar, you know, first year I couldn't have courses because I was lost a little bit. I wished to change my high school. I got issues with my parents, they refused and so on. And then I got issues with the supervisor and so on. You know, so I used to put my guitar beside me, you know, in the bed and like that, play on the strings like that, like I'm playing right now. I still remember, 30 years ago. You know, just to feel it, to hear a sound, to also smell the odor, you see, our food. It becomes a part of your life, you know. I stop here. Keep safe, all of you. Hopefully, those who are following those videos are really satisfied of the presentation. Everything is clear. You know, I used to ask my students, you know, after each course, you know, by the end of the course, there's a question. Don't hesitate to ask it here. You see under the video. Like I said before, I don't want really intruders from other sides trying to exploit politically what's happening, or trying to bully, you know, for a reason or another. Okay, I don't want intruders anymore. Okay, we call them parasites, and today they become predators. Okay, toxic, annoying, politicizing everything. Even though you ask them really to respect your privacy and to keep the distance, they impose themselves in a way or another. So that's why whenever such things happen, you pack and you leave, you know, the country where you are. I'm leaving France, you know, in 1 to 2 years. Okay, I don't want intruders anymore, neither from Europe, neither from Eurasia, neither from America anymore. I would like to be with my audience, you know, my close people, my fans, my girlfriend, and immediately, you know, in less than 1 to 2 years, you know, and no more toxic, you see, predators. If you don't have any chance to be with me, and I'm heterosexual, for example, you don't really play dirty games with me by using a political immunity or juridical immunity or your position, and you continue sticking to my life, you know, to bully me by the means of stupid neighbors, okay, and so on. I want that to end, and immediately, and do not come to France, you know, if you are heterosexual and Christian. So today they are persecuting mainly from the east. Okay, they are persecuting us like if we were, you know, the wrong people, and they are the right people, you know. Those toxic, you know, LGBT and anti-religious. Okay, if everybody is obliged to be homosexual or bisexual, an atheist or Satanist, you know. So, yes, this is France today, and French police administration and politicians protected by the magistrates. Maybe in USA it's same thing, in UK and Australia, I don't know, I was never living there. But anyway, I don't have to fight, you know, to protect my businesses also, my family business from predators, like I've said before, who are here to steal, to exploit, not really to let us work like everybody and extend based on lies. I don't want of them. Even though they are president of countries, I don't want of them, you know. Their presence in my life is not welcome. So, I don't have to explain it. I have to express myself much better than that, you know. Okay? Those who are fixing that politically, they can fix it directly with the concerned people. I'm not a concerned governmental employee, I was never a governmental employee. I'm ending this video by saying that because I need to return back to my duties and to my work. And I filed complaints since 2020, and those networks, you know, sometimes they say blue, sometimes yellow, sometimes red. They don't have any answer except really propaganda, lies, violence, intrusion of our privacy, extension of bad things based on lies. So they are not welcome. They are not welcome anymore. Okay, so I'm saying that because I began really recording my albums, and the album AIIHC Spanish and Flamenco Music, you know, Volume 1 will be released in 2026. Okay, there'll be an opera also album, there'll be all the songs covered, you know, by me, you know, and my guitar. Also, companies are between UK today and Lebanon. Okay, Lebanon, where I've studied music and where I'm still, you know, operational and professional. I've lectured there at university. Today they are making us wars. I return back, you know, in 2026. I make a visit there and a trip to Lebanon and so on. Okay. I have also, like I've told you, my first guitars. I've bought my books also of music. I've bought here, but very advanced books, you see, professional advanced books. The beginner's ones, you see, I bought one. I was annoyed because it reminded me of my studies. I felt really something wrong, you know. I haven't felt myself with my books. I don't know how to express it, but I've played all the book, you know, all the music pieces. I played them. I felt it really not the repertoire. I got the full repertoire of Caroli, for example, of Carcassi. My teacher was very generous and really very strict, you know, and organized. So I thank him. Okay. So that's why I don't talk about religions today, because he's not Christian like me, but he's a friend, you know, and he's a neighbor also. So He's not like here in France. There are enemies and stalkers and thieves. Intruders of privacy. You see, they are not friends. A friend will never treat you like that. They are enemies and haters. Okay? So there's neither blue, neither anything. I'm packing and leaving. And those who've done that to me, I've asked for $100 million. Otherwise, hopefully they'll end in prison as soon as possible. Whenever in fact there'll be justice, you know, in the USA, in Australia, and in France mainly. And they won't let, you know, foreigners, Russians or Chinese or others really exploit this lack of justice, you know, in those countries. I know they are so corrupted, you know, corrupt magistrates, corrupt politicians, corrupt cops, bad cops. I don't know they are like that. I'm really shocked. This is a big shock for me. They find always a reason, you know. Whenever there's nothing extended on me and I'll date the woman I would wish and she would wish, and if she's honest for sure, I'll do it. If somebody will block that, you know, and my complaint is blocked, it means in fact I'm the wrong country, and France is not the right country really to, you know, to live. They come with a stupid heads, you know, to tell us we are outlaws, or there's nothing on me. And they're still extending bad things while there's nothing. Neither minors, neither majors, there's nothing. There's nothing. There's an offender I hate today whose name is Donald Trump and all the Trump family. Another one I hate, his name is Emmanuel Macron. And a magistrate, I wish her a prison, if not prison, you know, death penalty. Her name is Sharon Front. Okay. With some bad cops, Danny Anvin and David Piper, and the French cop, Jérôme Diguez, you know, and his boss. I don't know what is the name of his boss. Okay. So they are from the Department of, I think, Diversity, Equity and Integration and Immigrants Control, I think so. Yes, indeed. I think they are from those departments. They were entertaining themselves in destroying our lives, stealing us and abusing us, making us issues, you know, like terrorists. Extending bad things, you know, we won't end with the bullshit, you know. I mean, if Vladimir Putin is a hater and racist, you know, fanatic enemy of those communities, I'm not like that, you know. So I'm here with my people, you know, relatives, but I'm neither homosexual, neither in fact Satanist or anti-religious. Okay, so I would like really to continue on the path. I don't wish to change, you know, my path. I would like to remain on this path. And France is not really a appropriate country today. They are endorsed by some British Freemasons, maybe too, because the cradle of Freemasonry is in UK. You know, if they are Freemasons, all of them, I don't know. I'm asking a question. Okay, we need a good Catholic, you know, judge and a prosecutor, really, 100%, not belonging to any secret organization, to make his investigation and to understand why those guys, you know, are still, to this day, extend bad things on me, connected to my life. I don't care about them. I don't care about them, neither Vladimir Putin. I mean, who are those guys? I don't know them. I've interacted, you know, briefly, and I don't want their presence in my life anymore, you see. More, Russia today is at war against the NATO, Israel is at war against Lebanon and Palestine and Syria and Iran. So I don't deal neither with Israeli, neither with Russians today. So I respect in fact the authorities of countries where I'm living. So they try to reach me, but they meet of third parties, always, it's not appropriate. Nobody will recruit me, nobody will exploit me, nobody will use me. I continue with my complaint, you know. They try to offend me again. Here they'll be validating a little bit what I was saying. We are living in a corrupted society of corrupt politicians, magistrates, cops, royals, and those who are covering them. they're always finding a reason really to hide and to escape and run forward, their offenses and badness and bad intentions and so on. Okay. So they can continue if there's an issue, in the society today with the immigration or something else, political issue with those LGBT, atheists or Satanists or Freemasons who have become Satanists and atheists. So they fix it directly with them, they don't pass by me, I'm not with them, and nobody is doing anything for them, neither for Russia, neither for the USA. I'm working for a company in UK, I have a girlfriend, not really. My guitar, today is my girlfriend. I have people I appreciate, but they are virtual today. I'm not a virtual guy in my loving relationships. Okay, and women, they are. I don't date men. They don't have any chance and they are not welcome and they are annoying today. All those, half men, I call them bisexual, they call themselves, It seems it's their education. It seems all Freemasons, or, I don't know. I don't know, I'm asking a question. Are Freemasons, all of them, bisexual? Or, I don't know. Because they make signs and symbols of Freemasonry, and I made an investigation by myself, to see, like right now for the guitars, if they belong to the same organization, why they are like that, different from us, I couldn't understand. I'm not like that. I'm heterosexual 100%, I don't have any kind of feeling toward men, except, friendship. Just friendship, not even brotherhood, friendship. They are not friends, somebody who is bullying me like a psychopath, he's an enemy. And I'm in mood of sending him to prison today. Not really interacting with him, neither really dealing with anybody. Okay? I'm not working in France anymore, so there's no reason really to remain in France. Okay, I'm working in Lebanon and with UK, remotely. So it's not like they want the French cops whenever they wish. They open us, to incorporate companies and to work in France. And whenever they wish, they begin bullying and hacking and extending better. If there's nothing, they are using a ex-girlfriend. You see. Fake complaint, then I swear to file a complaint to offend me directly, to stab me at the back. If there's nothing, they put badges, they blacklist me. It's a gang of terrorists, French cops. So, until when? This is my question today, until when? So I'm talking and filing complaints since 2020, since 5 years. Nobody is shaking a finger, regarding those guys. Until when? And it's been 23 years, today, sticking to my life like a predator, So I came to France to study, to work, to live, to get a family with my girlfriend. I haven't come here to collect all those predators, homosexuals and bisexuals and financial predators and racist haters and fanatics. What is this dirt, I'm more than entered to my place with the satellites and find, like I've told you, always a reason for that. So no, it's over. I want all my offenders arrested beginning of this week, if not really immediately, right now, after this video. Denouncing them and I'm exposing them, the administration, secret organizations and sponsors who have funded them, maybe also presidential campaigns and so on. Okay, they, I think, underestimate today the good governmental employees who are really controlling also from the side and who allow really this corruption to continue. If in fact the Europeans today, European Aboriginals, in fact they treat Aboriginals, or even though I'm Euro-Semitic, but anyway, Indians, and so on, by bullying them, by abusing them, by pushing them for addiction, you know, to drugs, addiction on sexuality, pornography, and so on, to not let them succeed, to not let the countries arise, Lebanon from my side. You know, it doesn't work with me. So, and here, I mean, they mobilize a whole network of haters today, mainly Russia and China, if not internally, you know, in Europe and in America. Okay, so we've asked them to stop doing that. I mean, it's over. You try, you fail, you stop. I said before, there were neither minors nor majors. They can invent anything you see to extend. It's an assassination attempt. So, made by Sharon from the Australian magistrate, and Daniel Evelyn and David Piper, two police band cops in Australia. Police officers, you know, in Australia. In collaboration with the French cops, and in collaboration with some politicians, Emmanuel Macron and Donald Trump, uncovered today by some royals also who were in conflict, political conflict, you know, left, right, within the same organization of Freemasonry today, you know, and inside NATO countries. They're involved, you see, people who would like to show themselves, like Vladimir Putin. He's very megalomaniac, you know, and old mentality, too traditional. Okay, he's one of them also, he's Freemason. If not Freemason, he's Illuminati, you know, chosen. He was chosen, you know, by the Illuminati. So he is from the same circle. Okay, so that's why. Until when? Well, like I've told you, I respect the authorities of the country where I am. If the French authorities told me today NATO is at war against Russia, do not deal with Russians, do not interact with them, I've stopped, you know. That's the only reason why I've stopped. But I can have a girlfriend and male friends, you see, it's not a problem. Today I've stopped because there's homeland security, you know. It's the French who brought them all, you know. All the chaos happening today, that's why I've shifted toward music, you know, my field, because I'm not in field of military complex industry, politics and so on. I can pass by them from time to time really to see what's happening, especially whenever I'm persecuted politically. You can see you are not really allowed to be heterosexual and Christian in France and to work like everybody as an immigrant. Whenever they see a competent, you know, Christian and immigrant, they begin destroying his life. So no, the one who will disrespect me really is over. Either he'll get lost, you know, or I know. You have the right to neutralize, you see, an intruder, a thief, coming to a place to steal you. They are terrorists also whenever they impose themselves, without any such warrant, without anything, by using ex-girlfriends, by using corrupt magistrates, corrupt politicians. It's not a scandal, it's a corruption of Western society, you know, and those networks of Zionist communists, Freemasons, white supremacists, and so on. So in a world where really, I mean, USA, they have Afro-American community since 500 years. 100 years, you know, so they are supposed to have a place today, same level of the white, if not Middle Eastern immigrants or Asian immigrants, South American immigrants to the USA. So it's discrimination indeed, bad intentions, intrusion of privacy. And you see, they block it in France. I open in Turks, you see, in UK, they run to offend me physically or personally and to try to close it from UK by the limit of Australian cops on the street, British Royal. I mean, what is this? What is this, you know? I'm trying to understand what is this dirt, you know? It's more than corruption. It's something very disgusting. no, I don't understand. They have any evidence about neither minors nor majors. They say they were a minor. There were pictures, without ages. So, and even those girls were adults for me. You see, they had boyfriends, and they were interacting with me before my trip to Australia because they were friends of potentially ex-girlfriend, and her little sister and so on. So I have nothing to hide, and they come to my place to bully me because I've declined them. And today, the whole package I'm putting today is in the Lebanese British company. Okay, Lebanese French hasn't worked, Lebanese American, it's banned and closed because of their toxic predators, sexual predators, financial predators, racist haters, terrorist criminals. Okay, so there's an issue in the USA, the issue is there, it's not here. So they have a serious issue there, you see, they are fixing that. So they fix it far from me, I've never traveled there. Okay. So they are controlling everything from the USA for what reason? They are Roman Empire again. They could see at the end of the Roman Empire. So empires rise, other disappear. They made the same mistake, unfortunately. This is the weakness, you see, of human being. Megalomania, selfishness, self-obsession. That's why whenever in fact you are more or less technician, you focus on your skills and the tool you are using. If you are a programmer, you focus on your code. You don't focus on others. Okay, especially whenever you are not really like them, thief. You are a developer, or you could see I'm improvising right now. Or you can take, in fact, music sheets for all composers, do illegal things, okay? So they won't come toward us anymore, seeking the blockage of political immunity, of Donald Trump and Emmanuel Macron. So either the Freemasonry today will, in fact, impeach and replace those two presidents and unblock our complaint. And this is, you see, a warning to Freemasonry. Otherwise, I'm releasing my book about Freemasonry and the corruption of white supremacist Freemasonry, with the movements of Zionism, communism, and ideologies, and so on, LGBTs, and so on. Okay, we are traditional. You see, even in guitar, I like traditional Spanish sound, of guitar. I've shown you the difference between German guitars, as prices are the same. It's not a matter of price or prestige, it's a matter of what you like, what you don't like. Okay, so what do they want from me, those cops? I don't want to meet them, I don't want to talk to them. I want them to talk to my lawyer, I want my lawyer to talk to a prosecutor and to the judge, examining magistrate. Okay, to begin. So, and that those politicians are Freemasonry and Zionist, communist Freemasonry, white supremacists, not to be sanctioned, to be really replaced by other presidents. You want, in fact, me to talk on big screen, on TV channels, to make a concert there, you see. I don't have any contact with them. I've interacted virtually. It has stopped in 2020 with the USA and France around those dates, 2021, 2022. 2022, maybe 2021, yeah. Okay. Not everybody would like to be Freemason, or they are like the Druze in Lebanon. I know from our neighbors, Druze, they say, in fact, everybody was Druze at the beginning of humanity, and then they've lost the path. Same thing regarding Freemasonry. Everything that will shine, any jewel they can find belongs to them. Anyone who has skills should be Freemason. No, some people have Masonic life. Biological family first. The blood will always, win against more or less, in fact, other bonds. So you don't have to dissolve me, you know, in a heterogeneous, you know, hybrid society of aboriginals and immigrants, and oblige me really to, even though I'm very social, you know, because I'm lecturer, you see, professor of university, so I talk with students or with their parents. I'm not a social, you know. If there's an issue, not scums and mobsters, you know, offending and bullying me like dogs, I don't have any issue. I don't hide, you know, from people, even though some of them are difficult. Okay, so I wish to talk a little bit about myself, you know, because the concept would come later, music albums, but first, you know, how difficult it is to work really in Europe with different people from us. So the philosophy, you know, to destroy my love, can keep it for themselves. The French cops, British cops, Australian cops, and American cops. Okay, diversity, equity, integration. I was integrating, in fact, those students. So to say that to me, you know, in France, because I speak fluently French, those cops saying that to me are racist. It's not fanaticism anymore, it's racism. To make me feel that I'm not home in France, I'm not one of them, and they need to integrate me. So those cops targeted me, you know, since 2002, either prison today, or at least, you know, to get lost. To get lost. I open a company in UK, no, you should close it. Why I should close it? It's not allowed. Why it's not allowed, you know? Why it's not allowed? Why, in fact, my colleagues are working in France? Why for me I'm not allowed? Because you work, you know, with some government employees, and am I taking something from them? Am I doing the same thing? No. Am I copying? No. I'm doing something different. So you file complaints, they block it, and you find then you have sexual predators too, sadomasochist, you know, homosexual and bisexual. Okay, and then you discover you have anti-Catholic, you know, anti-Christians, who may be Islamist or who may be Satanist, you know, Communist, Freemason, Satanist, and so on. Okay, so, and what else? Where are the red lines of my privacy, you know, and my civilian rights? And then they impose themselves on me while I've never talked to them directly. Just allusions, and those allusions are over, you know. I return back really to my work remotely with UK and Lebanon, my natural environment really, to pack and leave this, you know, persecution and daily bullying won't stop. I don't care who will be elected president in France. I don't care about French policies, you know. I care about what I'm saying. Yeah, this won't be treated juridically. Okay, it's not a political matter to make it pass. Okay, with that I end my 2 hours and 20. So it'll be a video, you know, of testimony, more or less, about who I am, what we are into, and how they are dealing with us. Okay. The last thing, whenever they tell you they are old, I mean, whenever you had my age, you politician, you cop, you lived your life, you got married, you lived your sexuality with your wife. So you magistrate too. Why you are blocking today my life? Why I'm supposed to do the same thing today, to be with my girlfriend, with my wife, to have my children and so on. Then they send you death threats. I mean, who is sending me death threats? Who hates me so much today? So, I don't know them. I don't know those guys, you know. So it's time really to seek a lawyer, I think so, an attorney, for the company, for myself, to stop wasting my time with those hypocrite fuckers and materialist opportunists. Whenever they see a jewel, like I've told you, they try to steal it. Whenever we develop it, you know, with UK and Lebanon, they try to steal it while we were working with them, and they could really develop much more things than projects, you know, with France. So those bad intentions, you know, of bringing somebody down because they are racist, they are fanatic, they are xenophobic. Okay, cops indeed, politicians indeed, magistrates indeed, royals indeed, won't pass anymore. Okay, I'm back. My name is Ramsey, family name Figali. I'm not young anymore, unfortunately, time flies fast. I came 20 years ago to France to study, just to study. I couldn't notice any issue because I was surrounded by some good colleagues and friends, family members too. Okay, I got many warnings. I couldn't catch the message that, like I've told you, I have predators and haters targeting me. Today there was a lot of hypocrisy trying to change the situation. We never forget, we never forgive. We archive, in fact, and we begin a new page without them. It's a country, I don't know, it's signed and sealed in the name of Macron, France, you know, and LGBTs and Freemason, anti-religious, Satanist, and so on, and communist and Islamist and so on. I mean, it's signed and sealed by their name, you know, France. It has become the country, and the Catholic Middle Eastern or others don't have any place anymore in France. S all the time, like silly idiots, you know. Whenever they see somebody who is faithful, he goes to church, you know, S, and begin bullying, and it's a bag of dirt, you know. So, well, there are, you see, normal people, they do their job in persecuting, and then you see them normal people in the mall, in the supermarket, in the street. So this job of hypocrisy, you know, and persecution should end. Okay, in my case mainly, and right now. They are still extending while I'm taking my files and giving them, you know, to some friends who are police officers today, and magistrates and so on. So I won't keep my files between the hands to continue persecuting, offending, manipulating, and so on. Okay, 2 years I released my albums, so I'm preparing this one I played previously. I won't tune again, you see, the 6th string. It was D, you know, D2, now it's E2, so I won't tune it again. Well, anyway, I play this prelude, you know, for Bach. I'll play Asturias, I'll play Cuerdas de la Alhambra. Okay, I've put the music pieces I'll play. Okay, yeah, so it'll be recordings, and then I'll make the concert. For the concert, you see, we're making a tour, you see, discovering and exploring together different brands of guitar. So if you have a lot of money, a big budget, go directly for Ramirez, you know, or Hermanos clamps, you know, they are good. Hermanos clamps are for classical guitars. Paulo Bernabe also for concerts, Francisco Navarro, yeah. Okay, they are all good. Hernandez, if you have less money, okay. If you have half amount of budget, you know, to buy a guitar, even concert guitar, go for a Hernandez and Alhambra. Okay, you can find also a good Esther, for example, the Manuel Adali, the Paco Castillo. Okay, it's second class, you see. And then Manuel Rodriguez, it's a transition toward Admira is for students, not for concerts. I don't advise you to buy an Admira for a concert, you know, recitals and so on. Then you have others, you can go for them. If you are in the German classical repertoire, not Spanish one, go directly for a Hanika, Hauptner, you know, or even Ortega, you see. And the last class is La Mancha, you know, Takamine, Cremona. They are good, they are not bad. You have Furk, Kakud, Soman, they are for beginners. Soman, Stat 1, Harley Benton, they are for beginners, okay? If you don't have any budget or 150 bucks, okay, you go for such guitars. Like me, I wish to pay 200 and so on. Break myself financially right now, you know, with all the issues we have. Okay, in a country, like I've told you, of hypocrisy, of jealousy and hypocrisy and bad intentions, you know. I mean, everybody is jealous, you see. It's not a matter to be probably jealous, but to be like that, a predator, a hater, an offender. I mean, the cops, I know very well they are government employees, they are in the country, you know, for them it's their house, but it's not their house because it's the house also of my directors, the house of my colleagues who are also French Aboriginals, you know. It's not the house I mean, of a single governmental employee. Anyway, we've talked a lot today, and they made us talk a lot, and we should not anymore talk about them. But if you receive anything bad about me, you know, it will be unblocked in 1 to 2 years maximum. Okay? They send threads, they send whatever they want, you know. I don't care about them. It's a political matter, you know. They fix it politically with the presidents of countries. I'm not even a politician. I don't have any position today. I'm just CEO of a company, director of a dormant company. I'm developing the albums. And you see from Lebanon, with UK, or from another European country, you know, we'll fix this issue. Okay, nobody will export me, nobody is my friend, you know, nobody is my lover. Okay, they are delusional psychopaths, all of them, and fishers. And today I've decided to fish myself from all the circle you see of toxic predators and delusional, dangerous people, you know. I won't say psycho criminals, they can reach in fact criminality, murders and so on. The good thing, I'm close in fact to some security forces, and maybe with my training, you see, physical training, I mean, they trust me, and they respect me, not like others, you see, who are small, toxic, you see, thieves. How they make their fortunes? By stealing. Those oligarchs, you know, like we call them in French, nouveau riches, recently enriched, you know, and oligarch people. How they make their fortunes? They enter to those circles of mobsters, of criminals, of corrupt, you know, politicians, administrators, and systems. So everything is clear. They won't really practice daily for 4 to 5 hours. They won't lecture for 10 hours per day at the university, you know, to have their lives. Okay, and today I want them really severely sanctioned, especially my offenders, and mainly my complaints are blocked against them. Indeed, I said it clearly, I said here, I made a plea to neutralize my offenders and the thieves, you know, targeted me. because any complaint is blocking them today. Okay, and they don't have any search warrant, anything. They are using something with my ex-girlfriend. I've told her, hello, how you doing? Can you meet me? You know, to talk. They consider it, you know, sexual bullying. And they are still using this with imprisonment. What imprisonment, you know, for asking a girl to have a drink. So I could discover it's Donald Trump, you know, with his gang of Zionists and communists also from France. You see Freemasons, white supremacists mainly, in collaboration with some high officers and band cops, you know. He has a friend of me, he's still extending, playing dirty games based on lies. So I've asked in fact to impeach and to convict Donald Trump and to not allow him to turn back to politics. Emmanuel Macron, same thing. And all the cops, you know, even magistrate, really prosecuted. As they continue with the violence, you know, I mean, big powers are watching, and also co-citizens. I won't talk about my family members, but colleagues and so on. They are watching, and they know me very well. They know I'm not this guy who will make any kind of sexual bullying. I mean, there's a lot of escort girls. It's somebody who is stabbing me, you know, who wish me bad things, who has already offended family members. And he's a cop, and a French cop, okay, who has brought all those predators worldwide, and so on. I continue till 2 hours, you know, 40 minutes, and then I leave you right now. We've talked a lot. Those videos will remain here. Okay, it's not a jerk information, just a description of situation today with real names. Okay, which may be written in some books. So if they are sadomasochists, you know, it's time to end the game because I haven't given any consent to play any game with them. They are playing with themselves today, and I want them out of my privacy. With the satellites for sure. And they are supposed to leave, you know. I'm not living in the USA to leave the USA today. If it's Donald Trump behind that, they are supposed to leave, you know, in privacy. Something regarding Macron. Instead of ignoring, you know, my letter whenever he was a minister, you see, of economy, so he could tell me that there's something on me and police prefecture, you know, regarding maybe my Christianity or political orientations. I'm not racist, but I'm conservative. Okay, so I'm moderate right. Unfortunately, we voted for Emmanuel Macron. You see, we've thought he's this French, you see, politician, moderate one, who will facilitate the lives of immigrants in France. And so he's a racist, you know, white supremacist, also toxic, also Freemason, Satanist, I think, too. Okay, so yeah, we end it here. Thank you to all those who have endorsed us. Regarding Russia, I told you there's no contact. Contact has been fully cut in reason of the war, you know, against NATO and Ukraine. So as I'm living in those countries, authorities asked me to stop any kind of interaction, you see, with Russians. Okay, I respect that. Same thing regarding Israeli. Authorities of Lebanon asked me to never deal with the Israeli, you know, and I never deal with the Israeli. We talk to some Jews, you know, they travel to Israel, but they are not really Israeli, Mossad, and those guys, you see, mobilizing public opinion against their neighbors, okay, worldwide. Last but not least, hopefully we'll reach stability without those wars, you know, and we'll be able to how we say, offer, you see, those skills and services when we are young to many people who can really have a benefit without paying a lot, you know, fees of courses and so on. So I won't put a lot of free courses here. Okay. So everything for today. Keep safe. Last 1 minute and 30 seconds. Yeah, don't hesitate to contact me, even though they are banning clothing. You are welcome on the page, and just disregard, you know, what they are doing. It's nonsense. Just running forward. They are broken, you know, at all levels. Mainly politically, you know, and juridically, they are broken at all levels. So they are behaving like kids who have committed, you see, a bad thing and made a professional mistake and a crime to avoid really their sanction. Like my students, whenever they used to make bad things, you know, and negotiate with me to avoid really a severe sanction and to be fired from the school and so on. So things. Keep safe. God bless. Yeah. Bye bye.